Every time you see that thing, it spells money. Yeah, ATM. It's money.
ATM.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not at the moment.
Anytime money.
Oh, good. Now, you're going to also try to identify what the meaning of NQR is. Don't.
I haven't the foggiest.
Don't.
Okay.
Even try.
Okay.
We have specialists, who are going to tell us about that one. The Deputy Managing Director of NIBS is here with us, and a colleague to tell us about the recently launched NQR payment system. Let's say ladies first. So, ladies first. No, it's not a lady. But let me just go straight to the Deputy Managing Director of NIBS, Mr. Nia Jao, who joins us along with Mr. Bolanle Enibokon, who is Head Enterprise Support Service, NIBS. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us this morning.
You see, because your name is Bolanle, he just assumed that you were a girl.
Especially because I have a sister whose name is Bolanle. Mr. Ajao, first of all, the first thing is even to understand what this whole thing is about. Don't we have more than enough payment systems?
Yeah, thank you and good morning. Thank you, Makinde and Alero. Thanks for inviting us to Sunrise this morning. On the issue of NQR, I will say no to your question. We don't have enough yet. And why am I saying that? Statistics and figures from Central Bank, from Nigeria Bureau of Statistics shows clearly that majority of our people still pay with cash. Cash does so much harm to the economy. Cash impedes the growth of the economy. Today's national economy is so sophisticated and complex that for a nation to get the full benefit of the payment system, we need to move away from cash payment and move to electronic payments. So the approach we're taking is to continue to provide many electronic payment options to Nigerians, so that those that may not want to use the POS or they don't want to use the USSD, these other channels, the NQR should really be attracted to a segment of the market. So really we'll continue to release many more payment options.
Okay. Bolanle, please tell us more about this particular payment system.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, and thanks again for having us. The NQR is a very unique payment system. It is fully homegrown in the country, and it relies on the barcode system, which is more or less like the contactless technology to operate. Really, what we had in mind were just about 4 key points. The first is to help to drive financial inclusion, like what Mr. Nia Jao just mentioned. And of course, by extension, the cashless economy of the federal government, as well as the Central Bank of Nigeria. Also, we looked at a solution that would provide very low cost to access for merchants and individuals so that they don't have to spend so much money on infrastructure. In fact, the cost to even integrate to the NQR solution today is 0, along the fact that it also has the best pricing. So this system naturally just leverages the contactless solution where a customer can just bring out his mobile phone, scan the QR code presented by a merchant, and he authenticates and makes his payment. Contactless in the sense that we know that with the global pandemic, there's so much around safety and secure ways of doing business. And we felt that this NQR solution, we also aid that. And the good news about this is that it provides instant value to the merchant.
Bolanle, you haven't told me how I pay with that. So let's say you're a merchant, for instance. I want to purchase some goods from you online, and I want to pay for those goods. You said I will scan a barcode. Where will I get the barcode I'm going to scan? And after scanning the barcode, then what happens? How does the money get from me to you?
Okay, it's very simple. If you approach a business owner or a merchant to go and make purchases now, today, so rather than paying with cash or probably looking for your card and all that, what the merchant needs to do is to conclude the transaction and present a QR code to you, just like the one that you have a background where you can see. So what the payer needs to do is to bring out his mobile phone. He scans the QR code. Then from there, he's able to see the amount of the goods that he's paying for. Or probably he needs to impute the amount himself. Now he now authorizes it with his own PIN. And he certifies that payment. And instantly, the merchant receives credit notification and the payer receives a debit notification. Now, this particular solution is already embedded in most of the mobile app banking solutions of the financial institution. Is to go to his banking mobile app, click merchant, and it makes the payment. Now, for a merchant, he would have gotten onboarded by his financial institution, to be able to present QR code. And from there, he can present and the customer can actually scan and make payment.
So essentially, Mr. Jao, this mode of payment operates through an existing application, and it's not just that people bring out the cameras on their phones and scans. Exactly how do people, go ahead with this scanning so that, they'll at least prepare themselves for it mentally?
Yeah, thank you, Makinde. Today, all our banks have a mobile banking app that their customers download from Apple Store, from Google Store, to make transfers and do their banking activities. So what Bolani is explaining is that inside that mobile banking app, there is now a menu item for QR code payment. QR stands for quick response. QR code payments. So when I get to a merchant, and when we say a merchant, that time it looks technical. For us, a merchant is anybody that sells something. Even a barber, a salon operator, that gala seller on the road is a merchant. E-commerce sites like Jumia, Konga, they are merchants. Hotels are merchants. So when we talk of merchant, it's anybody who needs to receive payments. So the way it works is that person who needs to receive, that company that needs to receive payment, display the QR code. Just the kind of code you are seeing behind me here, that is kind of what we call QR code. It displays it in the shop. If it's on the website, like Jumia Konga, for instance, at the point of checking out, so once you're checking out, the company already knows what you want to buy, how much you need to pay. So they'll just throw out to you, this is the QR code, which contains basically the account details of the person you want to pay. That's the basic thing. So I would then I want to pay, then go to my mobile banking app. I will sign into it, pick the menu for QR code payment. Once I pick that, my camera comes up. I just focus my camera to the QR code the merchant has given me. And within 1 second, my phone responds, I put my PIN and payment is made.
We're talking, I went to my app and I don't see any QR or anything there.
Does that mean?
In case you...
Go ahead.
Okay. For adventure, you go to your app, you can't find QR code. There are two possibilities. Either your app is not updated, it's not the latest update from your bank, or your bank has not made it available to you. Today, our banks are so sophisticated that on some channels, they have to get the consent of the customer. The customer has to apply for it before they make that option available. It's either that. So normally, if you don't see it there, you then call your bank that, hey, I want to be using this QR code. Your bank will immediately make it available to you. They will make it available on the menu there.
Okay.
Okay. Another question that, that a number of people might be wondering about, Mr. Ajao, is that of safety. Online payments have always been an issue for people. So while we are talking about sensitizing everyone on this side and on that side about the benefits of the QR code, the NQR, what are you saying to people about safety of their resources?
Okay, thank you, Makinde. NQR has been specially designed for this time. So we've sat down with the banks really to make sure we put proper security around it. Let me mention about four major security elements to NQR. The first one is the fact that It is inside your mobile app. So if I want to make a payment using my mobile app, I must know my username on the mobile app. I must know my login password to the mobile app. And for so many banks, you can even use your thumbprint. So all that must be available before I enter the mobile app. So that's the first level of security. It gives so much security there. The second one is the fact that NQR is not just our creation. QR code is a global standard. There is what we call in technical terms EMVCEO. It's a worldwide standard that talks about how to secure QR payments. NQR is compliant to that standard. So we are so confident. If you look at other countries that have done QR code payments, we're all on that same EMVCEO standard. And so the security is guaranteed by the global ISO standard. The third level of security is the fact that after logging into your mobile app, you've scanned, you will still put your PIN. You must put a PIN. The same way you put your PIN when you want to do a funds transfer from mobile app. So you put a PIN to provide additional security. If somebody picks your phone and wants to attempt that, it doesn't know your PIN, so the payment cannot go. And let me say the fourth level that gives me personally comfort to use NQR is the fact that NQR runs on the NIPS payment platform. So when you are paying to somebody, we have BVN in place now. Your money that left your account is going to somebody that we know. There's a proper audit trail on the system. We know the BVN of the person or the company you have paid or the directors. So really, if things now go extremely bad, you just reach out to your bank that, hey, this money left my account by NQR. What's going on? Your bank will check. They will work with NIPS. They will know which account it went to. Because we have the BVN, we know the phone number of the person. We know the email address of that company. We'll reach out. So in the worst case scenario, we'll get the money back. Because we have proper data, there's auditability on the system.
I think that's actually quite encouraging. But Mr. Anigwako, we have talked about the flow and letting people know about it and all of that. Why should people prefer payments through QR? What are the benefits different from using an ATM or stuff like that?
Or their card. Or transfer.
Okay, all right. Okay, so thank you very much. The first thing with NQR code is that it is totally contactless, in the sense that it is safe. You don't need to touch anything. All you need to do is just to bring out your mobile phone and scan and make payment. So it is very safe and secure. Then a very good benefit to the merchant is that it delivers instant value. Today, the merchant on some of the existing platforms will have to wait for a day or two to get value from the proceeds of their transactions. NQR delivers that instant value and also instant notification so that you don't need to start looking all over the place. Imagine a petrol station where there are attendants, also where a customer can come and scan and make payment. Instantly, the owner of the petrol station will receive value. The attendants too, from their own app, can also see the value. So there's no problem around reconciliation and all that. Then thirdly, the issue of pricing. Today, merchants do not need to spend any money on their existing infrastructure. All they need to do is to integrate and layer the NQR on what they have. The same thing goes to the financial institutions as well. They don't need to spend any money in terms of integration or layering. Then again, the NQR has features for interoperability, which means that from one QR code scheme to the other, there can be movement and within two financial environments. Again, we are also working with partners to drive global acceptability, which also means that you can use the NQR even outside of Nigeria, and it can drive that global experience. Anywhere you are, you can simply just scan with the NQR. So for the payer, the advantage is that it's very seamless and fast. Just 3 easy steps. He scans, he authorizes, and he pays. So the advantages are very huge. And we have use cases across all kinds of businesses, whether you're a small scale business, maybe you have a little shop at the corner of the street, or you have a supermarket, or even if in insurance, hospitals, it cuts across all sectors of the economy where the use cases can apply. So the benefits are actually very, very enormous.
Mr. Ajao, how much buy-in are you getting from these smaller companies that he's just spoken about? Because I was thinking, now I can go to the market and I don't even have 10 naira in my pocket. I can buy vegetables, I can buy fish and do a transfer. So how are these kinds of people going to get access to NQR?
Yeah, thank you very much, Alero. We launched the NQR service March 15th. That's just about 15, 16 days ago. We are working with the banks to really increase awareness. And thank God you've invited us here this morning. This is part of the measure we're taking. We have planned to really bring out radio jingles, TV adverts, working with the banks. The banks, all of these guys, really, most of them have bank accounts. And if you look at the benefit of NQR, our dream really is that even those among them who do have bank accounts, by the time they hear of the benefit of NQR, it will drive them to go and open an account. So really for us, one of the aims or objective of NQR is to grow financial inclusion. All those small businesses who do have bank account, by the time they see that, okay, this one is available now, okay, so I can receive payment, they will come in. And once they do that, today statistics show us that over 80% of transactions, payments that happen in Nigeria today, over 80% of them are done by cash. Only 20% are happening on POS terminal, are happening on bank transfer, check payment and all that. Over 80% still happen by cash. We want to bring that down completely because this economy will not move with 80% happening on cash. And let me say again that, okay, looking at financial inclusion, over statistics again show us that over 35% of adults in Nigeria do not have bank accounts. So we see NQR as something that should attract them too. By the time they see the benefit, by the time they see how easy, how seamless, and how secure it is, it should really encourage them to go to their bank, to go to banks, open accounts, and begin to receive payment. And let me add quickly, Alero. Today, POS terminal is a major way to collect payment by merchants. We have just about 300,000 merchants in Nigeria. Out of over 40 million merchants that Smedan tells us that we have in this country, all the small sellers, and there are over 40 million. Only 300,000 of them have POS terminals. POS terminals are expensive. They are bought with foreign currency. So, and banks buy them in Nigeria. Nobody will buy 40 million terminals for these merchants. With NQR, you don't buy POS, you don't buy anything. So this should be a major attraction for them, and that we're driving it, and we'll continue to grow publicity until it gets to the last person that sells something in Nigeria.
Raja, when you say that only 20% of payment is made online, are you referring to the rural areas or in the urban centers?
Okay, that 20% really, I'm talking of globally, the whole of Nigeria now. Yeah, we know that in the urban areas, there's, it's a little better, but even in urban areas, like Lagos, for instance, even in Lagos, the figure statistics that we have shows that over 60% are still done by cash. In Lagos, we still have a large number of adult people who do have bank accounts, not even a savings account, because they are yet to hear of the benefit, they are yet to see the benefits. So really, we're releasing all these new services, working with banks to ensure that we can reach out to them. Because when you have a bank account, it enhances your quality of life. You can borrow some little money, that organizer can collect some little loan and go and begin to run his business, go and buy his tools. Financial inclusion leads to economic inclusion, and it leads to national economic growth. It improves people's quality of life. So as government is working hard to grow the economy, we are doing our own within the banking industry, working with all the banks and central bank to make sure that we reach out to those who do have bank accounts and let them be able to, let's enhance their capacity to live their life and do their business. By so doing, they're moving on, and the country as a whole, the economy is growing.
Mr. Ajao, back to my fishmonger and my vegetable seller in the market. So how does a fishmonger or a fruit seller in the market become part of this system? Okay, again, the very first level is that you must have a bank account. And I tell you, many of them have, I've gone to the market with my wife sometimes when I have the time. You see that even the fish seller has a savings account. Many of them have an account. In fact, if you go to the market today, Alero, many of them receive payment by bank transfer. Yes. You want to buy anything. In fact, in Lagos traffic, many receive bank transfer payment. Now, what NQR has done is to ease the price of bank transfer. So instead of me having to do USSD or go to Mumbai and transfer money to that fish seller, where my bank will charge me, the payer, internationally the standard is that when I'm paying you for a service, you bear the cost of the payment. I shouldn't have to be charged because I'm sending money to you. And that's what NQR has brought. With NQR, when you use NQR to pay, you are not charged anything as a payer. The person who is buying something, you are not charged.
It's the merchant that is charged a little token to just compensate.
Are you sure that will not, Mr. Ajao, are you sure that will not also discourage?
It will be counterproductive if they are the ones paying.
But you see, but that's the standard practice. On POS terminals, when you pay with your POS at a restaurant, an hotel, or wherever, really, the merchant is parting with something. Why? Because that mode of payment delivers so much value to the merchant, so much value. Reconciliation is automatic. The staff there cannot prefer money, no cash is there. They get their money immediately. There's so much value to the merchant. So really international practice. Because banks who are providing this service, all the service provider, PSS, who are providing this service, need to be compensated. But the comfort I have is that the central bank is up to task here. Central bank is looking at how much are we asking the merchant to pay. Central bank is moderating it to make sure that we don't charge high to discourage the use of the NQR. I mean, banks are business people too. If you charge too much, you will not see the transactions. Okay, so there's checks and balances in the system.
Okay, Bolanle, if the merchant is going to pay, even if it is 10 kobo, I can assure you he's not going to join this system. Because when I transfer to his account or I use the POS, he doesn't pay anything. He's not charged anything. If the value is 10,000 naira and I transfer 10,000 naira to his or her account, what he or she gets is 10,000 naira, not a penny less. But if you are saying that if they get onto this NQR, they're going to be charged something, no matter how small, it becomes a disincentive for them.
All right. So let me quickly mention that today, even for the POS system, the merchant bears some sort of cost. So it's not totally free. And also, there are also charges around even for transfers as well. But what we have done is that with the NQR solution, we've made it far cheaper than any existing system that you have today. And like what Mr. Niya mentioned earlier, cost to access has been a major worry of the merchants in the industry today, even to the payers as well. So people are looking for very cheap ways of doing transaction. And that's where the NQR comes in. It provides that platform. And don't forget again that the cost to also access this solution in terms of the integration is zero. Today, merchants are paying, even through their financial institutions, they are paying thousands of dollars to access other schemes. NQR brings zero cost of registration, zero cost of integration, and also cost of transaction is far cheaper, almost zero in some cases, to the merchant. And from the feedback that we have in the market, from the merchant that we have interviewed, from the test run, they seem to like this solution and they are very happy about it in terms of price.
Well, just one last thing from me about this matter, because we have to begin to wind down. If this QR code is internet-based, what's the assurance that there will be no downtime, internet downtime, that could hinder the service at any time?
Okay. All right. So thank you very much. Let me quickly mention that the NQR code has capabilities for both offline and online payments. So we had that in mind, and we factored in all the nuances of the local market when we're developing this solution. And we knew that, yes, there are areas where you have media dark situation, where the internet is bad. We have various options for various stakeholders. Like what Mr. Niya mentioned earlier, a merchant can typically just paste a QR code on his shop, and the payer comes and scans. Then we also have the USSD leg for those who don't have smartphones, where you can just dial a short code and also make your payment. And it's also available in offline situation whereby there is internet challenges and all that. It can also adapt to such an environment. So factor in all the problems of the local market. And again, like I mentioned, because this is homegrown. Yeah. So
you certainly have so many other things to deal with, but we've run out of the time allocated for this conversation. Because when you said that the merchant can just paste a PR code somewhere for the buyer to just scan? What if someone else comes to replace the QR code? But we can't answer that question now. We have to thank you very much for this enlightenment that you've come to do. Mr. Nia Jao is Deputy Managing Director, Nigeria Interbank System, Settlement System, as well as Mr. Balanle Niboko, who is Head Enterprise Support Service of the same organization. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time and thoughts this morning.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us. Thank you.